The NFL Week 9 finale pits the Arizona Cardinals at the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Cowboys 2.5-point home favorites at DraftKings right now. Total 54.5. And with that Cowboys defense, anything is possible as far as points on the board are concerned. So we'll talk about this Cowboys defense. We'll talk about if the Cardinals are maybe a better team than we might think, or maybe they just do suck. We'll talk about best bets for this game and much more. Welcome to the channel. Ninja here with Tony Farmer. If you could be so kind, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you do not do so already. We preview all primetime NFL games, so turn those notifications on. Tony, let's talk Monday Night Football here. The Cowboys' defense is awful. There's no other word to describe it. They are a solid overplay, I will say, though. 6-2 to the over so far this season, so there's that. But, Tony, 30th defensive DVOA overall, 27th DVOA against the pass, 27th DVOA against the run. But my question is this: why is Matt Eberfluss employed in this league?
He might not be for that much longer. If they keep giving up 44 points like they did last week to the Broncos. Remember, they gave up 40 points in that overtime game to the Packers, 37 points earlier this year to the Giants. What a fall from grace for Matt Eberfluss. It seems like just yesterday, you and I were talking about how this guy was actually portrayed pretty well in Hard Knocks. Like, he looked capable, he looked competent. Now he's lost his head coaching job, and it looks like he's not even capable of being a good defensive coordinator anymore in this league. I will say this: the Cowboys defense is kind of devoid of talent. They've had some injury issues. You trade Micah Parsons at the start of the year. I'm sure that caught him off guard a little bit. So he does have some excuses, but even considering all those excuses, it's still a rough performance for Eberfluss. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't last the whole season.
Because of that defense, though, Dallas offensively has to outscore what it lacks defensively. So you don't have to make this a formal pick or anything, but give me one or two good candidates to score in anytime touchdown betting markets here for the Cowboys.
How about George Pickens? He hasn't had a touchdown in the last 2 games, but prior to that, he had a touchdown 5 games in a row. And I know you asked for the Cowboys, but I can't help it here. On the other side, how about Zay Jones for the Cardinals? He doesn't have a touchdown yet all season long, so you're going to get a nice price on this. He's gotten kind of hot the last couple games. He's had his best couple games of the season, over 60 receiving yards. And if you go over to oddshark.com and look at the defensive team report, the Cardinals are terrible against wide receivers. They rank dead last in touchdowns allowed to the wide receiver position. So when you got a thin secondary like that, the Cardinals may try to spread them out a little bit with three wide receivers. I could see Zay Jones having a big day.
Kyler Murray has been out, but has had the bye week to sort of heal that foot. He's been practicing with the main receivers this week. But Tony, and this may sound crazy, but given what we've seen from Jacoby Brissett, who has played well, 600 passing yards, 4 TDs, just the 1 interception, is there really any need to turn the offense back over to Kyler Murray?
All right, I think this is a case of 2 things can be true at the same time. Like, one, no doubt in my mind, Kyler Murray is a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. He's more talented, etc., right? However, it's also true what you said, that he's looked pretty darn good in this offense, arguably better than Kyler Murray has this whole season long. I think this might be a case of sometimes, the backup quarterback comes in, the defensive coordinators don't quite know how to prepare for him because they don't know how the offensive coordinator on the other side is going to use them in that system. They can get hot for a couple games and they sort of eventually teeter out, right? Like 49er fans are kind of seeing this with Mac Jones. He looks really good the first couple games, not so hot the last couple games. So to answer your question, I think going back to Kyler Murray is the right move. You're paying him a lot of money, first of all, and second of all, long-term, and I mean through the rest of this season, I think he does give you the best chance to win.
And there is that stat that's been going around this week that Kyler is, I think, 9-0 as a starting quarterback in his career, going back to high school in this stadium. I know that's making the rounds on social media and whatnot, so bear that in mind as well. But, and again, I might sound crazy here, Tony, but bear with me. The Cardinals are just 2-5, which is awful, obviously. But their 5 losses have come by a combined 13 points. 1 at San Fran, 3 against Seattle, 1 against Tennessee, 4 at the Colts, 4 against the Packers. Is this a team that might make a late season run and push for a playoff spot, or is it just a lost cause once again for this team? or like maybe just a backdoor cover candidate every week. Not dead in the water quite yet. 4.8% chance to make the playoffs. But what are your thoughts here with this team?
I think you're right to point out their close losses because I don't think this Cardinals team is as bad as its record indicates. However, I don't like their chances to make a run here later in the season, partly because their schedule is so tough. Let me read it to you. After this Monday night game, they've got a short week and they go on the road against Seattle and San Francisco, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, Rams. Those are all potential playoff teams. At Houston, they might be getting better. Falcons. And you got a game against Cincinnati. Maybe Burrow's back. Maybe that's a snow game for them on the road. And then at the Rams. That's a tough schedule for a team that's been struggling to suddenly get hot. So I agree, they're not as bad as their record indicates, but I don't think they're going to be able to do much with this season either.
Folks, I'll get to Tony's pick in a moment here, but if you are looking for a little extra edge in your daily sports betting, you've got to check out Prop Professor because to celebrate the start of the NBA season, you can get it at 50% off for that first month. This app drops hundreds of plus EV bets every single day, giving you a real shot at finding long-term profit instead of just guessing. For example, there are a couple of small plus EV plays still available for this game. Under 28.5 Dallas team total, 4.5% plus EV at DraftKings at minus 110. Under 28.5 Cardinals team total, just on the cusp over at DraftKings as well. Just a sample of what Prop Professor offers its users. You can sort through plays across the NFL, the NBA, college football, and plenty more, all backed by data and not vibes. It's got tools for arbitrage betting. It's got a fantasy optimizer, so you can cover all of your angles. So if you want to give it a try, use the promo code OddShark50 at checkout, and remember, 50% off for that first month. All right, Tony, let's talk about your pick here. Monday Night Football, we talked about the odds. Cowboys, 2.5-point home favorites, minus 118 I see on DraftKings here at that. Total, 54.5, minus 110 either side there. What are you looking at? Plenty on offer for these two teams here on Monday Night Football.
I'm expecting points in this one. You mentioned the total, 54.5. Shop around. There are some 53.5 still in the market. I actually went with an alt total here. 52.5 because 53 is a key number. 52.5 at minus 125 juice. You can find that over at FanDuel. I checked right before we recorded to make sure that it was still available. I bet that earlier this week on Wednesday, posted it to the expert pick section over at oddshark.com. We spent so much time talking about how this Cowboys defense is bad, but their offense is really clicking. They are a dead over team, as you pointed out to start this. And the Cardinals now have an extra week to prepare for that really bad Cowboys defense. So I'm expecting fireworks in this one.